We're here.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for joining me. And this chair is like super creaky.
It is, and it's it moves around a lot, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna stay as stable as I can.
I've never this is the first time in these chairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is a good experience.
It makes me feel like this is like a business meeting.
It definitely has those, or like we're plotting some like villain shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Cool. Let me start how I always start.
Mm-hmm.
Kenshi,
Yes.
who are you?
Who am I? I think I'm honestly just always seeking. Maybe. I think that's what it is. I don't think I'm like into a lot of spiritual stuff, and like just for my own mental health and stuff, I just think like attaching yourself to all this 3D is kind of can make you lose your mind a little bit. And so I think just seeking knowledge and just kind of always questioning what you know and trying to find more answers is how I'm trying to go about things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm a huge fan of just constantly, for the lack of a better term, like constantly disagreeing with yourself and then figuring out like, okay, well, what do I really mean, or what do I really think or believe? Exactly.
Yes.
What are you trying to understand right now, or what's something that you're disagreeing with yourself on right now?
I think honestly, my whole like growing up, and just through the school system too, and just kind of what you're taught by your family, just those, I guess like what you could call them shadows in a way, and just kind of looking back at situations and really deciding, how you felt about it at that time, because your younger self affects you, like that's a shadow in itself, and then also your teenage years is super crucial as well. So just kind of going back to those different years and seeing where certain parts of yourself was kind of affected, or certain people's opinions and other influences got in the way of who you truly are in a way. So I'm just kind of.
When you say shadow, what do you mean by that?
I think it's how I like try to chop it up is just kind of like within this realm there's good and evil, I think, and I think there's dark and light, and I think everything is kind of balanced in that way. There's like an opposite, and so I think our shadows are the things that we don't really bring to the light and we don't really acknowledge, and it can really affect us actually in a negative way, because if we choose to kind of push down our darkness, it kind of comes out in different ways, and then we're like, oh no, we're a good person, like like in a certain way. I kind of like say I feel like it's how preachers or like Catholic priests kind of say it's okay that they're doing weird shit to kids and stuff because they're so holy, but they're not looking at like the dark sides of them that are make them do those things, and they're just kind of masking it with like God and light and all that stuff. But we are like dynamic beings, so there is a lot of darkness in us, even if we don't want to, confront it. So I think that's what the shadow is like confronting that and confronting what made us feel that way. And your shadow can come from, traumas too, and just experiences as a kid. And,
for sure.
Yeah.
Is that what they reference, or is that what they talk about when people say like I'm doing shadow work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in a way that's definitely something like I picked up just through friends and like just my own spiritual research, is just the idea of shadow work. And that's even something I had to look into myself, like just more, because sometimes people take like spiritual concepts and like, just like astrology, and they're like, like wear your makeup like this if you're this, and I'm like, sometimes I'm like, okay, it's taken like in a different way that I feel like isn't like at the core of like how it all started. So even just kind of researching that more is something I want to look at, and like the duality of this life and like yin and yang, and like you see it everywhere in a lot of different like non-monotheist religions. You see a lot more of them talking about like the darkness, and that like other side to this universe and life.
Yeah, in a way that's not always villainizing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Because it seems like in, like a lot of monotheist religions, there's like a good and bad guy, and it's interesting too, like even looking at our stories nowadays, like the good and bad guy. Like sometimes the bad guy became bad because he was good, you know, and you kind of had to like look at like what happened there, you know, in a way. Like I'm an advocate low key for the Joker because I'm like the
well, your video very much says that,
because he helped inspire that idea in general too. Is just like just you know, things in this life like being teared down so much by society and like literally losing your mind and what that can do to you and like questioning what is really good or bad, who's really Gotham and like who was it, like he went to Batman's like dad or something and he was treating him like shit. Like you just kind of like look into this stuff and you're like, who's really the asshole?
Right.
Yeah.
How does that make you understand, not to go into any specific, but like some of the people currently that we're looking at of in the light of they're the evil person?
Yeah. Just like in general, just like society-wise or just...
Well, just some of the, big people that are, I think.
Yeah.
Well, so Trump, Elon, Kanye.
Yeah. That's the whole thing too, because it's like you see these people doing these certain things that are like messing with other people, and then it's like that's a whole other thing. Because what I think too is like they're in a way like a representation of like negativity, but I think that like will bring out the love in people in like a weird way. Like it's horrible what they're doing, but like I'm kind of excited to see where we like as the people choose to say like enough is enough,
right,
and like where we want to like, kind of install more of that love and taking things like on our own terms. Like I was just watching a TikTok today, and this guy, he was like a truck driver, and he like sells food like bulk like to the markets and stuff. And he's like, hey guys, like these tariffs, like if you say get a group of people and say you're a store, like you can buy our product and sell it back to your community for a lot cheaper than like going through like a grocery, like a Safeway or like, because their prices are just going to keep going up. But like, there's just certain ways I feel like we can help each other, and those like these bad figures are like ways for us to kind of like uplift each other and hopefully just like see that this stuff is happening, and because it is scary, and that's the other thing, that fear. Just saying it is scary. It is like fearful seeing this all the time in the news and on your social media. Like it's so draining.
Yeah,
and so it's also just like we need to have fun. Like we kind of need to switch it up. Like we need to like just like in Vietnam, like when like all the war stuff was going on, they had like peace rallies and make love, not war. Like this is that time where people are really gonna, like I said, like the the opposites. Like people are gonna come in and really try to change this up, which I hope it does.
I feel like your TikTok feed is more enlightened than mine.
Yeah.
You're like learning about business strategies, like community work, and just like random singing videos.
I like those too, but I would say to my boyfriend, I'm like, I've like crafted my TikTok so specifically. Like I'm like conspiracy talk. Like I got like just shit about everything. But it's fun. I need to get off of it though. It's a lot sometimes.
There needs to be. I tend to be pretty good about just like pulling away from it, which is nice. And usually it's when I do a lot of meditative work.
That's good.
And so I think that helps me really snap out of TikTok like doom scrolling.
Yes.
Because I'll be going through it and I'll be thinking like, what the fuck am I watching right now? And be like, cool, I'm done. Literally. It's wild.
You got to tell yourself that. Like you do, because you can get stuck. Like I'm in the generation where like we got iPhones when we were like 14 probably. I think people had iPhones around that time. My age. Earlier. Yeah, or like just like when like my like it was just normal seeing like kids my age with iPhones. Oh. Okay. So just like I feel like my generation, like we are just more like kind of stuck to our phones. Yeah, like I need my phone every time I go to the bathroom. Yeah. Like it's like it's bad.
It's probably dirty.
Yeah, you gotta keep your wipes on you. Exactly. It's like my third hand.
Nice. Yeah. I want to go. How do you, going back to like the news and fear mongering that's going on and what have you, and some of it is real and some of it is sensationalized because especially media like sells and feeds off of the fear of
Yeah.
people, right?
Yeah.
Like, have you found a way that you can, like, what's your relationship with news, I guess?
Oh, I
Do you
don't watch it.
You don't watch it at all?
So yeah, I don't watch the news. I do watch like news channels that are like Channel 5, like for example, Andrew Callahan, and just like kind of independent news channels.
Yeah.
I was heavily on Vice for a bit too, and just kind of like media channels where it's not the bias, it's not like a Fox or like a CNN or something, it's like just kind of, hey, we're here right now, we're talking to the people that this like actually happened to, and like actually have people see it right there, right then. And that's the one thing I do appreciate a little bit. Like, I know social media is toxic. It's really like fucked up. We could talk about that too. But also, it is cool though that you can really see what's going on. Like, especially with the stuff in Palestine and other things going on. You see firsthand like where you see the injustice, you see the lies and the plans, and it's a very interesting. I don't know, I feel like out of the history books, like I feel like this is a very interesting time to see this kind of stuff. Like, you hear about genocides like all the time, but just to like be in a digital age while it's happening it's very, I think, different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you know, before you can learn about it or hear about it, but you're not confronted with imagery.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And now you are.
Yeah.
It's hard to get away from, which again is good and bad, right? Because as we've grown to understand with like Facebook monitoring and some of the studies they've done there, like to be exposed to that constantly is not healthy.
Yes.
But there's a certain level of like information that you should have. You should just be aware of what's going on.
Exactly. That's the like thing too, is like the healthy part and making sure like, you're not helping anybody by also, going into a depression and getting affected as well. It's kind of a weird thing where you have to kind of keep your levels up and recognize where you're at, as well as empathizing and doing like what you can to help make a change in some way. But it's always up to the leaders, and that's where I think it's like that community coming together. Just like we need to start making certain plans and actions, because there's only so many directions they're going to take us.
Yeah.
We don't really know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Quick change.
Yes.
A little fun fact.
Oh, yes.
We were on a song together.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. Wait. Which one?
Do you remember?
Wait. Was it with Evan?
No.
Was this like, how long ago was this?
Okay. It's a little bit of a white lie.
Okay.
I just thought it'd be funny to say that we were on a song together.
Gotcha.
No, we both did Travis Thompson's 81 freestyle.
Oh shit! Okay. I forgot about that. Yes. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That was definitely a time. Was that 2 years ago now?
That was a while ago. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah. I was like, this is fucking. I love that he did that.
Yeah, it was cool.
That was so.
Although
fun.
I don't know if like a remix ever came out.
I like honestly stopped paying attention low key after like I submitted everything.
After you didn't get selected.
I was like,
well, never
fuck
mind.
it. I don't give a fuck. But nothing came out.
I don't know. I mean,
I
correct
gotta
me if
hear
I'm
it,
wrong.
because like I know he did pick that one girl, and I was like, I want
Yeah.
to hear this now.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, damn.
Logic did the same thing, which is funny because Logic was on that song too, 81.
Yes.
But I don't think anything ever came from the Logic
Really?
competition either. And I also did that one.
No way. Wait, when did he do one? Did he do one?
It was like right before.
Oh, right
Yeah,
before.
for,
okay.
For his song
Got
with
you.
Seth MacFarlane.
Oh, yeah.
Self-medication.
I
or
fucked
something.
with that actually.
It was dope.
Yeah, Seth MacFarlane. I was like, damn, like
He's like super good.
he is. He's talented.
Super talented.
He's
Yeah.
a pretty talented dude. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. But I was thinking we should just take our verses and then make a song.
Dude, oh my god.
We already have them.
We should actually hear what that sounds like.
It
That'd
could be dope.
I would
mean,
love that.
There's slightly different topics, but it could be cool.
Yeah, maybe get some AI help.
you
See if they
go.
can merge.
Yeah.
Merge our words.
Yeah. And we'll do a competition for who's on the chorus.
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
my god. Hell yeah.
And we'll try to get Travis to be part of the competition.
Yes. Yeah. We'll flip it on him.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
we'll-
actually,
we'll
so.
I'm just kidding. He's great. He'd probably make like a really dope chorus. course.
No, for real. I saw him perform, like, cause just like being in the Seattle area and everything, like he was like one of like the first people that like I kind of like just saw performing and you know just doing it, which was really cool. So it was just cool to like be a part of that and like just you know try my own stuff and like when I actually wanted to like start making my own music and doing that thing.
Yeah. One thing I noticed, so I went through your Instagram to like prepare.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed is you collaborate with a lot of people. That's like a recurring theme. Even with your Instagram posts, like they're always collaborative. Well, most of the time they're always collaborative.
Yeah. I definitely like. I mean, the community is like you know that's where it's at. You know, it can't be so much of like a me game. You know, it's definitely like we and the community is you know where you start and where you build and where you learn and just collaborating with people is just honestly just an honor and it's exciting because it's just being in a room with passionate people for the arts you know so that's definitely a reason why I really like talking to people and like you know going to events and you know networking and that kind of thing just because we're all part of this and it's just to see what we can do with it too you know just Seattle in general there is like a certain ceiling here.
Is there?
So yeah I feel like people tend to like move away.
Yeah.
You know, they're like once certain things start to happen, it's like okay, I'll go to LA or New York. You know, just certain like I just feel like people just kind of dip out when certain things happen. So I feel like having more of like a base built here, just kind of I don't know, pushing those limits a little bit more because there's a huge music scene and there's just so much happening all the time. I'm like shocked there's certain things not implemented yet.
Like what? What do you think is missing?
I just think just more, just help, like not being like, here, go to LA or like go to this person, like just more either music, like labels or just certain communities that are put together to kind of help artists form more here, like find the connections here, start doing certain things here instead of having to like just go other places. Yeah. I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I think that resonates a lot. I mean, part of it could also be that most of the time, especially within music, right? Like you're younger. Yeah. Maybe you grew up here, and there's a lot that happens in LA and some of these other. Yeah. So then at some point, like logistically, it just makes sense and probably is an exciting adventure.
Yes.
You're like,
that's
I'm
true
gonna go
too.
live in LA for a couple years or for longer. I don't know, but yeah, I also wish like it'd be cool if people just stayed here. I mean, I guess Macklemore stayed here, Soul stayed here.
Yeah, I mean, not even just like staying. Like, it is cool to like, because obviously traveling and like taking experiences from other places is like important to like grow as an artist. But just like when you do leave, like just like putting things in place to like maybe like show some love to the place that you started at. Like even like because I'm part of the residency, you know, so like Macklemore and like being a part of that program, you know, really just shaped so many people and especially the youth and just people who are part of music in general. So being able to do something like that, to, you know, just kind of give you a little leg or just like something, just like get you some experience. Like the kids that I was with, you know, were performing, you know, hadn't performed yet, you know, some of them. So it's just like having that experience is so crucial and just having opportunities like that from a name, you know, like Macklemore, you know, with, you know, some credentials and stuff to like help in certain areas. But I just like, just kind of giving love back, I guess, is the thing, just to help people here like branch up more. And if they want to stay, they can stay. Yeah.
Who's somebody that you want to collaborate with this year? Besides our 81 song.
Oh, yes. Of course. I can't forget about that. I have to say, I just shout out my girl, Joie. Joie.
Who's that?
She is an amazing artist from Seattle. Well, she's in Everett, but she's from like, she does lots of shows in Seattle. But just a dope ass woman. I met her through the residency. She has an awesome voice. She has a new track called Catch Me If You Can that's out right now too. But yeah, I just like want to also.
Is she an opera singer?
No. No, yeah. She does like she sings, but she also like raps too, and she like plays like the guitar, which is fire. Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. So she's like super awesome, and we have like some beats like together already. So I'm kind of excited to see like if we can get something, going and get some
Nice.
tracks out.
So she's producing it, or Evan's still producing it?
No, she actually got the beats from someone who hit her up. So these
Okay.
are from her, and we're just gonna like collab and because I also want to try to collab more too, especially with women artists as well, because like
They're killing
there's
it.
not, killing it, and also there's not a lot of like spaces where it's just us,
Yeah.
So it's just kind of cool to have like some cool ladies around.
Yeah. I posted on Threads yesterday, I think. Just like women artists are just like bringing me life right now. They're just killing it.
Doechii.
Doechii, come on. Doechii.
Oh my god.
There's a couple other ones that popped up recently. Doechii, Brandy Carlisle, and the
Oh,
Elton
yeah.
John's album is just like incredible.
Yes.
It's wild.
Oh wait, she
how
did
great
a
it is.
album with Elton
John.
John.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I gotta check. My dad put me on Brandy Carlisle.
Oh,
so
really?
so I gotta check
Yeah,
that out.
it's super. I mean, didn't listen too much of her music before this album, but I'm a huge Elton John fan.
Oh hell yeah, okay.
And it's probably gonna become my second favorite Elton John album.
Really?
It's so good. Yeah.
Okay, I gotta check this out.
And she wrote most of it.
No way.
Yeah.
She's so talented.
Super talented. And she's from here.
Yeah,
she's
I know.
from Washington.
Exactly. That's why I was like, oh shit. Like that's why my dad was like, she's from here too. And she's like, because she was on the Grammys like for a couple years, and I was like, no way. And her voice, she has that one song where it's like, better laugh while they can. That song, fuck. It's if you haven't heard that one, you gotta listen to it.
I need to go back and listen to her discography.
Yeah, it's really good. That's like the one song I was like, holy shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely check that one out. I'll text it to you if I remember.
So women artists.
Yeah.
So you want to work with Joa?
Yeah, Joa. Yeah, by the end of the year, if I can do that, that'd be awesome. And just honestly, collabing more as well, because that's something I just like music wise I have, but sometimes I just am really just like lone wolf with it, and I just just make my own music. Kind of like keep to myself. But
really?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. Like I feel like I'm not as much like in the studio like with people as much, like just kind of just myself. And
is that just part of your process? Because your album has features on it, right?
Yeah.
And you worked with Evan.
Yeah, I think like the features on that project, Iman is like a really close friend, so like just like that comfortability, and then Yanni, just like the connection through Evan, and just like having that happen was really cool.
Yeah.
And so like those were actually my like first ever collabs, I believe.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
First ever collabs on that project, and then since then like I have stuff like in the vault, with people, but then. Just like sometimes it's hard because also people are just working on their own stuff, and then it's like timing and stuff. Yeah. But I do want to get some more songs out with people. I think that would be,
Are you working on a new project?
I am, yeah.
You
I
are?
am working on, I think it's going to be an album.
Okay.
And I'm like just pumping out songs right now at this
Are
point.
you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I really just want to get a track list that I'm just really set on and excited about, especially like with performing.
Yeah.
I just want to be just 100% on it. So
Yeah.
I'm just writing and I'm in the studio getting songs together, kind of just piecing together how I want to do it, / like visuals. It's like a whole plan. It's like you gotta kind of plot it out, but also don't want to plan too much because I'm also trying to live.
Right.
A little, yeah.
So is it coming out this year? Is that the goal?
Maybe if it is this year, probably towards the end of this year. But then maybe next year. I think I might just do like singles for this like coming year, and like maybe some more visuals just because I really like visuals.
Yeah.
But then next year maybe just getting all the songs together, because I also still want to write some more songs as well. So just kind of packaging it up and getting it together. I think probably like next year maybe. Yeah. Because you also have to like have some leeway. It's always like the months. Yeah. Like 3 months, and then 3 months is like, like damn it.
Yeah. 3 more months.
Literally.
Yeah. How many songs do you have in the vault for this project? Like potential songs?
Yeah, potential. I think as of now, probably around like 10.
Okay.
Yeah, 10 newer songs. I think like maybe 4 of them will be songs that I have out already or like are releasing. But yeah, about 10 or 11. Nice. I want to like do I want to bring back like a full album. I know like everyone keeps telling me, I keep hearing like 3 songs or like just do singles or just
an EP.
Yeah, or just like an EP. But I'm like, I want like full albums, you know? Like, so I don't care doing like a long thing. Like I'd rather do that and maybe just take my time on it. A little bit. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of albums,
oh yeah.
I do want to talk about your album.
Oh hell yeah.
Ruby Lane.
Yeah.
So, and I'm gonna keep looking. So just to make sure they don't turn off. It's 1:50. How much time do you have?
I'm good till like 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll wrap up by 2:30.
Cool. Perfect.
Or before, yeah. I just get into these conversations. I'm like, let's talk about this and let's talk about that.
No, for real.
I love your album.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I thought it was I was pleasantly surprised.
Oh, hell yeah.
Not just, I've seen you perform a couple times. Just saw you at Tree Fort.
Yeah.
And I've heard your music. I've heard like the singles.
Yeah.
But I never really went and dove into your music.
Got you.
And so I went to this album.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I kind of feel like I know the vibe, and then it completely took me off guard.
Oh, got
in a great way.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I think it was probably one of the better albums locally that I've heard.
Oh, wow.
Just because I'm a huge fan of the art that is the album, and how do you execute on a creative vision really well. And I just feel like your album, one, you can tell you're very cinematic and you love like stories and movies because the album is very cinematic.
Oh.
Is that a correct assumption?
Yes, no, definitely. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I like you said, I love film and movies. Probably am a little more dramatic than I think I am. That I like to believe. But yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah. And I love the way like each song goes into the next one, and it's very well thought out, and like, you know, this little moment at the end of one song like blends with the beginning of the next song in like an interesting way. I think it was like, I forget the exact, I have my notes here. It was in between One Way Route and Peace of Mind.
Oh, yes.
There's like a radio, and then Peace of Mind starts with like a radio vocal before it blends more into like a normal vocal. So cool.
Thank you. I appreciate you for like seeing like those little details, you know, because, you know, me and Evan are just in the studio like, okay, how are we going to make this happen? And just kind of like plotting it out ourselves. And like, we do think about, you know, listeners who do listen to like the small stuff, and like those transitions were a huge part of the project, because that's something that Evan and I wanted to do, just to kind of make it like a little special and just have it kind of just feel more seamless. So it's cool that, you know, you picked up on that and like heard the little things.
Oh,
we try to add it.
There's so many times I'm like, am I still on the same song? Is this a new song? Because it did feel just like completely, it felt like one long movie.
That's so cool. I love that.
Yeah. So to me, it felt like a little Kill Bill. Was that an inspiration? Or
oh yeah, Tarantino's a huge inspiration for me,
yes.
in like a lot of realms.
One
like,
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean like as soon as it started, I was like, this feels like Kill Bill.
Yes.
Or like a Tarantino thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so describe a little bit more about like how he's inspired you, or the movies, or what have you, like how conscious was that decision moving in, or what have you?
Yeah, I like wanted to be a filmmaker before actually like getting into music. Through high school and also a little bit of college, I took like film courses, and just the visual aspects, that was a really big part like for my music videos and stuff. But also like, how like thinking about it now too, just the whole dramatic and just like film style and just the feeling of the movies, I think is something I try to incorporate, like especially for my song On the Run. Like that one has a lot of just different voices and just factors in it that kind of makes it feel just kind of very grand and like a part of like a film or something. And I think that's something I really like about my art, and something I want to really kind of keep going with down the road, and keep also just expanding on as I, you know, see art in this world myself, and just watching more films. They're just, you know, expanding expanding the things that are my own aesthetic. You know, like right now I feel like I have like a certain aesthetic and things I like, but also I feel like I can also expand more, you know, and kind of just figure out all different types of me that, you know, just from the world that I feel like I can add into my art. Because I feel like there's nothing, Green Tea Pang said it, there's a quote, she was like, there's no such thing as unique or trendsetter. Like nothing's really ever like the first, you know, thing that someone did. Like everything is something we take from like the whole world, you know, we like we see it, we appreciate it, and we can like put our own flair on it as our own individual selves and people, you know? So like, I don't know where I was going with that, but
you're just exploring yourself.
Yeah,
and it sounds like you use your art to do that a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just everything around me, everything I see, you know, is something to put into your own art. And like, if you're really trying to tell a story of like who you are and want people to feel something like from your true essence, like that's where you feel when you're attracted to an artist, not like attracted in that way, but like just like, you know, vibes, and you're like, holy shit. Like I feel like when I am attracted to an artist, it's because they're really just showcasing their authentic self, and they're like, this is like who I am, like everything about me and all the layers to myself, you know. And so I think that's like a really big difference when it comes to artists and the kind of art you want to make, and also giving into temptation and money and other things to like kind of like get you out of that mindset, what you want to do.
Yeah. Was there an actual like solid storyline to the album?
For that project, I think it was just kind of it was a journey, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was, it was just a journey of really, that was like the first album, besides the project I made, like the EP I made at my, like in my room, you know, and just my own garage band stuff. But like, that was, you know, I had my producer, I like thought about it, I put time into it, I had like a release party, you know. The only thing I haven't done yet is a headline show, but I had like, I haven't done a headline show yet.
At all?
At all.
You did that, you did that show at Central Saloon, right? 7 months ago?
Yeah, that was
that was like a birthday thing.
Yeah, it was a birthday thing for a bunch of people, but I've never done like, this is like a Kenshi Killzzz headline like thing. So
we get you on a headline.
Yeah, I know, that's like something I definitely want to, you know, plot next too. I think also with like the release of the album, maybe kind of like tie that in together. But like, it was the album though, like Ruby Lane, that was kind of my first of like everything, you know. So even like the listening party was like something I was like really nervous about, you know. I was like, shit, like I haven't, you know, just having people from the community come and support you and like listen to your music is like a little scary sometimes, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
And like, especially just, it was like my literal first like, hey, you know, this is me kind of project. So I was just, you know, trying to see how it's received and just putting yourself and work out there. But yeah, it was just, it was my journey into figure out what this art is for me during that time, I think, and like what the aesthetics I liked and how I wanted to represent myself and what I saw at that time for me with Ruby Lane, and just kind of continuing and traveling through my Ruby Lane. Like that's not like the first, that's not the last, you know, like that's just, it's gonna just continue to go kind of thing.
What does Ruby Lane mean?
So it's kind of funny actually. So Evan was working with someone and they're wearing a hat that said Ruby Lane. And I don't know how we started talking about it, but like Evan just started talking about it like during our session about Ruby Lane. And then I was like, and I was still trying to figure out what to call this project, because sometimes I just make songs and stuff without really having like, you know, a full idea. And so like I try to figure out a name. Evan said that. And then when he said it, like, just, you know, I think sometimes there's just certain things we can't control. And it just made sense for me. Yeah. Like, I was just like, that sounds like what I want this, like, it just kind of, like, makes the vibe of what the whole album is for some reason. Like, I don't know, when he said that. And so, and then to me, it also kind of, for me, it's like my own Ruby Lane, like, on some Wizard of Oz stuff, like just, I also like rubies. So like, you know, just my own play on it, but you know, my own path, my own journey. Yeah. And that was like the really like first project that kind of is like my start on this whole journey.
Yeah. And the title track, So, and from my perspective, listening through it, most of the songs feel smoky and dark and a little ominous.
Yes.
But Ruby Lane is probably the only one that feels like bright
Yes.
to me. Was that intentional?
Yeah, it was kind of like that, victory song, like kind of like, okay, this is like, because when I write too, I guess with that duality like we're talking about in the beginning, my writing is a little darker and kind of touches on, just darker subjects, and I think that's kind of where in my own duality of my because I feel like on my day-to-day type of person, I'm very smiley and happy and just not as much as what my music would be like. So I kind of express the darker parts of me, I guess, through my art.
Gotcha.
And through that. So I guess that's kind of where you hear that smokiness and that the darker undertones. But then also there is a part of me too where I do like that kind of figuring it out part. Yes, you can go through all this shitty stuff, but then are you going to figure it out? Are you going to learn from it? Because that's where that's where you're given grace. I believe anyone, people can do really horrible shit, but if you're going to learn from it at the end, that's what makes it worth it for you to continue and on your journey and become a good person, the next type of person you want to be.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of my okay, I figured that out. Okay, boop. Now next journey kind of song. Okay, we're here, but life isn't always so that ending song being happy isn't my whole life. It's not always gonna be happy like that. It's just okay, I figured something out. Move on. Kind of thing. And good and bad things happen all the time.
Mm-hmm. Would you say that? Or what would you say is your biggest learning from Ruby Lane, if you had to summarize it? This album is about learning this.
I think Ruby Lane it's just honestly learning myself and just what I wanted to craft and who I want to be and my own identity as well. Because I'm a mixed person and going through that struggle is a little different. Yeah. So it's kind of an interesting process to go through it in your art, in your music. And that's just something I was trying to figure out as well. Because I like to showcase my, culture. Haven't always felt the most accepted in it and haven't always felt the most accepted in, other spots of my other sides. So it's just identity, finding who I am, finding my sound, my voice. Because also straight up before doing music, I used to actually literally cry. I would tears my tears would start to go swell in my eyes when I would sing in front of people. So I was just really trying to unpack and just push through, trying to reach my dreams. But just a lot of working on myself and my own self doubts and limitations. So just it was really my this is the start of it project.
Was there a single moment that really helped you push through that sort of nervousness or anxiety?
I think the help of community members around you that really believe in you and have been through certain things and know how the game is, and just kind of that reassurance from them and just everything too. One thing that really stuck with me that kind of helps me stay on this is last year at Tree Fort, I went to one of the panels and just talked about different ladders and how it's not just one way up. But
I heard you talk about this.
It's just a whole you go anywhere. You could spiral just wherever the ladder leads you. It doesn't have to be linear, and I don't really care what my ladder looks like, and until I get to the place I want to be in the way I want to do it. On my own terms. So it's just kind of.
So what's an aspect of you that you're still trying to learn about, understand as you're moving into this new project?
Just growth. Really, yeah, growth and development for sure. Because I did music here and there, but I really didn't dive into it until after COVID, and I'm still learning a lot more. So it's just self-development as an artist, kind of working with different sounds and just the way I've been developing and learning new, tricks and just vocal development too, performances, performing for so long and, you know, being on stage definitely helps practice. Like, I know some people don't like to perform that much, and like, you know, it's like all your own choice, but also like, I like old school people, you know, where they like are performing in clubs for like every weekend, you know, and that's how they like get their start. And because I really believe in like being a part of it and being there with the people and like practicing your craft, like on, I don't know, it's just so vulnerable. It's just such like a, I think it's a great place to like be, to really also gain your own confidence as well, and like what you're doing, because it takes a lot of balls to go up on stage. Like,
that's very nerve-wracking.
It is, like, you know, and I even get like even scared like when it's a lot less people. Like I'm terrified. If there's like 5 people, like I get more scared than if it was like more. Yeah, honestly.
Why is that?
I don't know. I think it's just like the intimacy, and like I'm really like I'm like right here with you guys, and I just, because, you know, if there's like a lot of people, you can just kind of space off in the corner, like sea of people, you're like, okay, like, and then I could kind of get lost with my own self, which I kind of like, because I just kind of get in my own zone. But then when you're like with people that are right there, you're just kind of, I feel like I have to entertain them and like really like have them feel the energy to like make up for the lack of people. So I'm just like, it's just a thing. But
there's more pressure to be like really good.
Definitely, yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
But it's definitely helped. The repetitions definitely helped with the growth and performing and just finding what, that's a whole craft in itself too. Like everything is a craft. You know, your music, video, how you perform. You know, it's just figuring that
out. I at the end of Ruby Lane. And at the beginning, actually, at the end of Peace of Mind, there's so many like lyrics I want to go through, but for the sake of time, at the end of Peace of Mind, and then the end of Ruby Lane brings it back with like an actual sample, maybe where it came from, but something around like, I didn't write down the exact lyric. Something around like, I don't have to love anyone else, or I just need to love myself. Do you remember that?
At the end of Peace of Mind?
At the end of Peace of Mind, you're singing it. And then at the end of Ruby Lane, there's a sample singing it. Or maybe it's you, but slowed down.
Is it, I see a Ruby Lane coming. Can I roll another dice? Get my fun in. Is it that one?
No.
Oh, sorry. Also, I'm like, because I haven't listened to the project in a bit either, because I've just been working on new.
My music.
No, I've just been listening to my new music, so I'm like, oh wait, shit. What did I say? There was end of Peace of Mind. I'm trying to remember the.
Sure.
Oh.
Ain't got to load.
Yes. I ain't got to love. Yes. That was the sample from Ruby Lane. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, that's so cool. I actually really forgot about that. Yeah, so I don't know what was first, because I think, because we had the Ruby Lane sample, because that was already from something, and it has like a choir chanting like, I ain't got to know. And then I think we were trying to figure out the ending of, I forgot which song it was, but so then we decided like at the end of Peace of Mind, we're gonna put that, like, and just like kind of slow it down, because I think the piano, it was the piano. Evan like was playing this piano. I'm like remembering like all the memories coming back. Evan was playing the piano, and I was like, oh, I feel like we should like say something to end this, like to like tie it up a little bit better. And then I think we like just heard, maybe we even slowed down the ending of Ruby Lane, but then I think we just like, we took that and we're like, ooh, this could be cool just to tie it all up and like have it all kind of like, you know, little like Easter eggs kind of thing. We're also trying to plot some stuff. So yeah, that's cool you picked that up.
And was that lyric from something, or you wrote that, or? No,
that's from that sample. Okay. For the Ruby Lane, it's like, you can't hear it as clear, but it's like, I think it's a stack of like a bunch of voices like, and it's like kind of more stacked and just, but you can still hear it if you like listen through. I think it starts in the very beginning, you can hear it, and then towards the end you can hear it as well. Yeah.
No, I liked it. It was super cool.
Thank you.
It was really dope. Speaking of, well, never mind. So speaking of loving yourself, I saw your video.
Oh, yes.
That you posted on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. I think it's so important to be vulnerable, right? And like share these, like real stories about ourselves, about like the
Yes.
struggle, whether you're an artist or not, of like, yeah, sometimes I go through these periods where I just don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm having doubt, or I'm having these thoughts, or what have you. And, you know, people helped me come back. So I just want to say thank you for like sharing that.
Of course. No, because I think it is important, like mental health, especially like in the art community and like music community. Because I just heard, I think I was at Tree4 actually last weekend, but they're saying, I think, like I forgot what the percentage was, but we do have like a higher suicide rate, like within musicians and artists. So I thought that was really important, and just being a part of like the community, and you see people and you hear their stories as well, and them dealing with their own issues. And I think it's just something that like shouldn't be as like, I mean, everything is up to people to share what they need to share, obviously, but also creating more spaces where it's like you can open up and rely on people as well, and not feel, I think it's just like the loneliness, you know, like sometimes you just feel like you don't fucking have anybody. And so like just knowing that there's spaces where it's like, okay, you know, if I'm feeling shitty, like I can go to this space, like with these people, and like we can do finger painting. You know, just like certain things, like you just
like
set
finger
up.
painting.
Yeah, cool. Literally, you know, like just to set up with other artists or like people who are going through the same things, like can like rely on each other, like start a group chat. We just like have to take care of each other, and I think the social media and being so like nonverbal with each other is also really not helping.
You know, going back to one of your points, as artists, I think there is this perspective that we can't feel like doubt about our artistry because you kind of just, you know, to be successful, you need to just have this undeniable belief that you're going to make it and like manifest it. But yeah, there's some days where it's like, yeah, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
Like I have no idea, and I don't know if I'm going to make it. Am I cut out for this, or I'm trying and it's just not working? And so it can feel isolating because you don't want to go to someone and be like, should I do this? Like, am I good enough?
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And so again, going back to, that's why it's so important to have like these circles or these communities where you can have those conversations.
Yeah. No, seriously. Like even just like, I don't know, like artist counselors or something. Like, I don't know. It definitely is a different kind of field, you know, and I think it is important to like have these conversations and just not make it so like hush hush in certain ways, and just like open it up, because you know, you like we unfortunately did lose somebody from like the residency, you know, so like there is, you know, real mental health and real issues that we need to just help each other, help our community and our fellow artists. You know, we are all in this together. Like, you know, we're not as close to anything as much as anyone else. Like, it's really important just to like show some empathy, and you know, at the end of the day, like even if we took away all the art and everything, just like who you are as a person too. Like that's just big. Even with just working with people, like if you're not nice to the people who are setting up the stage, or like getting like just those small things that make the whole difference. Like, you know, who are you in this? Right. So
yeah. I mean, they're just as important, right? Because without them, you would be doing all.
Yeah, you couldn't do any of that. You couldn't put on a whole production yourself. Like the sound people, like make it sound great. Like you can't, you know. I mean, it's just funny, you know, how this has like the whole being famous and like that whole thing has been perceived, and like things nowadays like being called out, which I think is really good. That's changing. And I'm curious as to like where that's gonna go down the road for like what it means to be like famous, and like, you know what I'm saying, like.
I mean, maybe it's just like a micro famous. You know? Like on Netflix, everyone has their like TV series that they love, but we're starting to find with like conversations, you find out, oh, people don't have the same algorithm as you. Right. And so, you know, artists may be the same way, where you have smaller but more intense fans that like really buy into your art, and you don't have to have millions of people. You know, that's true. You could be supported by like a few people too. Like if you have people like pay for your album, like not just do it through like a streaming service, but like on like your own website, where you're like, hey, if I have like this album's coming out, like, you know, it's only through this, and it's like $15, you know, like you're probably making more than you would through like Spotify or like other streaming platforms, you know, like if you are like a smaller artist who's just trying to like make some money, kind of thing. For sure. You mentioned, I wrote this somewhere. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Damn. It's not on here. Oh, there it is. Yeah. You said sometimes when I write music, I know what I'm saying later down the line.
Oh, yes.
What does that mean?
So I feel like sometimes, and this is like, yeah, another like kind of spiritual thing, but I feel like sometimes when writing or doing anything, you know, creative, sometimes it's not really you, it's just either like a higher self or just, you know, a download, people like to say. But I feel like sometimes I like get certain downloads or whatever you want to call it, and like at the time I'm writing it, and like I'm understanding it to a point at that moment, but then later in my life, like a year later or something, like I had a recent experience where I was listening to like one of my tracks when I was in Hawaii, and I was listening to like the words, and it just kind of hit differently. And I'm like, okay, I think like this is what I meant in that time, but I needed to be here in this moment to like fully understand that.
Yeah.
And like I don't think time moves linear. You know, I feel like time is just like all over the place, and like everything is not what we think it is. But like I think I just like maybe like my future self or something new, you know, and like, you know, it's just I feel like we kind of just set ourselves up or helping ourselves to like writing or just, I don't know, it's just interesting.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite feelings.
Yeah.
When you go back to a song and you're like, oh, it means this.
Yeah.
And usually, or sometimes, I also have the reaction of like, damn, I'm so good. I didn't even think about that till right now.
Literally. That's so funny, yes. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes, literally though.
Yeah.
You're like, damn, I guess my skills are up.
Yeah.
My skills are up.
I do this.
I do the shit.
You also said that you now know what you do this for. So what do you do this for?
I do this for, honestly, just like the world and my community, and just helping and bringing some light and love to this planet. I think, you know, there is so much negativity, and as cliche as it is, like we just need to love each other, and I don't think it's harmful to bring in some light and love and treat people with respect, and that everyone has their own purpose, and, you know, being your authentic self too. Like that's just something I'm also really trying to learn and tap back into. You know, when you're a child, you're very much yourself, but then certain things are put on you or people say things to you, and I'm like, man, this is why I'm like, you know, this is kind of why I had this thought about myself. But then it's also our duty to also, you know, smack that and get that out of the way, because we also are in our own ways, you know, a lot as well. So it's just kind of showing up as authentically as you can, I think, is like the best thing in any space, and it just helps everybody, because we don't need like 1,500 types of like one person. Like that just makes everything boring, and you know, there's just so much that everyone in the room has to offer. Like if everyone's in a room and like trying to figure something out, like the quiet kid could have like a lot of, you know, information to say, or just, you know, so I think, definitely that stuff.
I love that. So you do it to spread love.
Yeah, spread love. And I think music is very powerful, and I've just seen it throughout my whole life. Like just with musicians I look up to, where in times of crisis, which I think we are in like a very important time, music has been a way for people to come together and show, like get rid of like the 3D, like no matter what race, ethnicity, what you believe in, like anything that we see, just like me looking at you, you looking at me, like we can be in a space together, enjoy a frequency and sound, and just like take that in as a unit, like as a people, like not even anything else matters, just like us right then and there. And I think that's like why I love music so much, and why I like want to be in spaces like that, is because there's not a lot of divide. When you like an artist, you like your artist. You know, it's not like, and whoever comes to show up to your show shows up. Like, so you meet tons of different people, and I think like we just need to just kind of, just realize we are just like people at the end of the day too.
I love that. I think this might be my last question. I love giving people their flowers.
Hell yeah.
I love it. It's like one of my favorite things.
Oh, bet.
You know? Sometimes I get nervous too because sometimes they're like maybe really famous or they mean so much to me or whatever.
Yeah.
Who's someone that you need to give flowers to, that you would like to give flowers to right now?
Sorry, this is a big one. Can I not give it to like a certain person? But like a group, sorry. But like can I give it?
I may force you to. We'll see what your answer is first.
But I would like to give my flowers to a lot of the Seattle artists that I know and a lot of the people in our community, honestly, because this shit is so tough, you know, sometimes. And like to continue to show up for yourself in your music and your art, and especially during these times, like it's so inspiring to see what everyone is doing. Like even the fact that you're doing this too, like is really inspiring that like you're making it happen. So just like watching people show up and make it happen for the community and themselves is really awesome. And so I really would love to just like, give my flowers to all the artists I see, the people shows I go to, and people making it happen.
Yeah, love that. Okay.
Did I get out of that one?
If you had to pick one person.
One person?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? I have to give my flowers to Jace.
Jace?
Jace
Okay.
from the residency.
Yeah, okay.
Because I think like it's very important because that man installed so many just great values in me and just people who are just around him, and being a part of that program of the residency, and like having him, you know, he speaks life into us, like into people he's around. So just feeling that and receiving that is just so important for young artists, and knowing that you have, you know, a person on your side who's been through, you know, this industry in certain ways, and wants to do it the way that he wants to do it as well, and build that kind of concept. And you know, our values are, you know, very much, you know, family and support and love and unity and community. Like, so I just really enjoy the residency's values and the teachers that they have, and Jace for embodying that, and also, you know, giving it out to other people. So yeah.
Is he an artist?
Yeah. So he's part of Black Stacks.
Oh, okay. Black Stacks. Yeah.
Black Stacks. Yeah.
Love them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like randomly met him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Really.
And he's the nicest guy.
He's so nice. He's
Yeah.
so dope, and like he really loves music, and he really cares about the kids, and because that's where it is. Also, is like, you know, the kids and our youth is so important. You know, with this, they're the next generation to, you know, bring our ideas and, you know, what we want to see this world eventually become. So it's important to like invest in them as well, which is really what I like why I like the residency, is because they make sure that kids can access music, which I think is so important. Yeah. Especially in certain circumstances growing up, you know, and not having the access or community. And then it makes the difference in someone's life. Yeah.
Yeah. I low-key want to start like a residency graduate program.
That'd be so cool.
Because as someone that's aged out of it,
yes,
it's like, well, what about us that like,
I know, because
started late bloomers,
right? It is sad to think. I know, because I'm happy I got to go on the tail end, because I technically it's like my last year, and I like just started last year, so I was like, fuck, I like just in time, you know. But once you're 25, it's kind of like, okay, figure it out, you know. But I think that's like where, you know, once you're in the aged out group is where like you got to tap in with the people, and make your own like stuff happen. And because there's so many resources. There's so many people around that like will be willing to help. We just gotta like keep looking for it. The right people will come. Like, you know, I truly believe that. Like, if you stop working with someone or something is cut off, or like, you know, I think it truly means that like it's because, you know, the right person will come and be a part of whatever you're building. Yeah.
Is there anything that you really wanted to talk about that we didn't?
Oh, we talked about a lot of good stuff. When is this coming out?
Probably not for like a week or two.
Okay. It might be too late. I was gonna shout out the show that's coming out.
This Saturday.
This Saturday. But no, that's all good. I mean, yeah, I think we covered a lot of great stuff. Like, it was a really good conversation, and I appreciate your time for doing this.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
It's funny because I watched the Fresh Juice.
Oh, yes.
interview
Yeah.
in preparation for this.
Oh, really?
Because I don't want to ask the same questions. Right?
Got
So I'm like,
you.
okay, so what has she talked about? For that interview, the next day you did the Central Saloon show.
Yes.
So it's kind of funny that after this interview, you're going to Central Saloon.
Facts. That is true. I know, right? It's just how sometimes it works like that.
It's just like a pattern now.
Literally,
It's a press run.
It's got a little interview first. And then no, I love doing this stuff though, for real. Like, just having the time to talk, and like, it's important. I really like learn about artists too. So like, I always watch interviews, just to get to know, the person you're listening to a little bit more. I think it's important.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Here.
Appreciate it. Well, handshake.
Handshake. There you go. All right. Cut.
Okay. Do you have like a little like thing you say like for your show name or like?
No, should I?
I don't know. It's up to you. I just say like, this is
Seattle's best brunch.
Hell
I mean,
yeah.
the tagline is feeding your creativity or feed your creativity. Yeah. 'cause
Okay, hell yeah.
It is centered around like creatives and really just like spotlighting creativity. And so that's why on the website it's like there may or may not be brunch, but we will feed your creativity.
Cool. Okay, I love that.
Yeah, but
That's a good tag.
People really want brunch.
Yeah.
So I need
That's
to.
hilarious.
Yeah, like, it's come up several times.
Yeah.
Like, I like what you're doing, but like, can we get some waffles or what's up?
That's so funny. I feel like eventually too, you could get like local breakfast spot. Like they totally would probably donate some like a bunch of muffins or something. You know, like I was at Tree Fort. Yeah, literally Tree Fort. They had like all that food they're eating.
The artist?
Yeah, is all from around there.
Oh,
like
wow,
all
nice.
the businesses pitch in to like feed them.
Yeah.
So I was like, definitely a local spot would probably be down.
Well, Tree Fort's dope because I think it is just all local businesses coming together.
Yeah.
Right. Even like the venues and what have you. It's not, some other festivals have like the corporate funding, which I'm not someone that's like down with the corporations.
Yeah.
I think each entity has its place.
Yeah.
It's just making sure to keep it in check.
Exactly.
But it is cool to see Tree Fort just being like this local thing. They just come together and they're like, we're just going to throw a music festival.
Literally, right? And it's so cool. Like you can feel it too. It's very organic. Like they're literally playing music in the buses. Like that stuff is so cool to me. Like I love the whole vibe there. And it's like people are like, just talk more and like it's just because it is like it's a thing. It's like Tree Fort. In Idaho, I'm sure if you live over there, they're like Tree Fort is exciting to me. Like that's probably something that people really look forward to. So like you can definitely feel that when you're out there. Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah. Dope. All right. Feed your creativity.
Feed your creativity.
The first time. I'll probably cut that out.
Oh yeah, all good.